And we're back. Net streaming to you from a corner of the dark web you couldn't find if you wagered your mother's life force for it at Hellgate Portal. Would you stake the maternal bond and all its parasympathetic perks for delusional vengeance? Hope not. Yes, it's an otherworldly broadcast of Hellgate City Companion with Kirby Bevins, still here on WNAD. Neo Amsterdam Dimensions. Greetings, pirate hackers on the soft seas of circuitry. Hurrah! We have a special guest in the studio today. Can you guess who? A correct guess lets you spin the vapor wheel, where you could win A, 10 meters of Celex tape, B, a cyber cigar, or C, 2 tickets to box seats at Mega Boss Virtual Arena to watch the next Vapor Games, the only sport where longtime friends and family members can settle scores with a mecha suit battle to the death, blood mercy, or till the loser says uncle, whichever the victor chooses. Guess wrong, and you'll get an early microchipped vaccine by our sponsor for free. So it's really a no-lose proposition. Transcom lines are open. In local news, the vaccine shuttle has landed in Neo Amsterdam. Huzzah! Signing up for inoculation, let alone picking the right one, is a befuddling process. So we begin with a note on one of the most frequently asked questions. Pamela Dasgupta and Ron Kunkama inquires, what's up with the microchip in the Kraken virus vaccine? Does everyone get one? Thanks for aiming at the bionic heart of the matter, Pamela. Unchipped vaccines are standard for all Amsterdamizens. However, thanks to the sponsor of today's show, Mega Boss Guitarquarium, a mass influx of microchips has been donated to the city. Microlyzed injections await anyone without a city ID. Turns out there's more to that ID card than just getting into the Gronk's Zoo Mega Terrarium drome for free, eh? You'll also get microchipped if you fall into one of these categories. Wandered into the city from Hellgate Portal or Neo Jersey, demons passing across species lines, wayfarers from beyond the veil, cyborgs, anyone with unpaid parking tickets or city fines, those who've been questioned or optically analyzed by Boccaccio's Blackguard surveillance unit, and Eve droids. What's in those? The chip schematic is available on the city's web zone. It's identical to that of the hot Metal Doberman effect pedal used by rat-nasty guitar gods and goddesses across the cybersphere. You hear it almost every time a 6-stringed solo screams. Get yours at Guitarquarium. Side effects may include a tendency to wear jean and leather jackets with no shirt, dressing in all black, mesh bodywear, full denim attire, rando bandanas tied to your outfit, addiction to big hair and high-strength acrylic atomizer, displaying full tongue during virility tests, low impulse control, vis-a-vis shredding on your cyber axe, finger tapping, and responding to fight, freeze, or flight scenarios with rhythmic head jolting, melodic arpeggios, and whammy bar gyrations. Do not ask your doctor if being hyper metal AF is right for you, because in this case, you have no choice. Additionally, microchipped vaccines may grant you an ear for tiny changes in musical genre, i.e., sensing the difference between melodic Drek whamcore with thrash influences and pentatonic space Drek slamcore with bash influences. More hot heavy metal genres to love. All told, not bad considering. Receiving the vaccine is the only way to keep your limbs from shearing off and being replaced by parasite-controlled tentacles. Let me tell you, tentacles restrict your dating options. That loads my memory bank.
When you hit on a lassie and she comes back sassy, you whip out trappies and you win her back. It's the favorite of your pappy and your great-grandpappy, trappies, hot sauce.
Sponsor us if you know what's good for you. Gadzooks! Looks like we've got a live connect on the comm link. Bring them in, Macklin. Hi, Sherry. Where are you dialing in from? Sherry?
Yes, hi, I'm calling from Vonkers, longtime listener.
Welcome. Are you ready to play?
Uh-huh, but not yet. Actually, I was calling to ask this. What if you already have the microchip? Can you still get the vaccine? Will they double chip you? Oh, and the secret guest is your dad. Toodles.
Whoa, big swing, but no cyber cigar. Since you guessed wrong, a city medic will arrive shortly with a vaccine jab and an answer to your question. Will you let us know what they say? What's that? Whoop, we lost you. Call back. And Dad? Are you out there? Please call in. The lines are fully encrypted. And now, in a national news exclusive, here's a note from Qwerty Ping, one of the militant tech crusaders who stormed the Centurion Capitol in the recent coup. He has posted up in the office of the former cyber speaker of the House.
Well, you don't understand Gorp's supporters. We know he's a loser. We know he's a mean, bitter, cowardly, and feeble egotist. We know he lies on his mother's grave, or you ask him to and he'll lie out of his sludge sluice. We know he talks direct behind our backs, had a dozen bankruptcies, and got sued by the Court of Panoptical Judgment for refusing to rent HomePods to blacks in the 59-60s. Yeah, he's a misogynist. He's an alleged rapist. He may have sexually assaulted a couple tweens at one of Rick Enkenstein's parties 20 years ago. We've seen the glitch reel of him telling a federated guard to give Rick enough privacy to take his life into his own hands. And we know he wished Rick's top co-conspirator, Jilly Maxbad, the best of health when he heard she'd been arrested. Maybe she has dirt on him. That's between them. Even still, you know how hard it is to show kindness to a woman believed by most to have cyber-trafficked kids for a billionaire pedophile? Only a real man can turn the other cheek. So don't think we don't know. We know all of that. That took balls. The kind of balls Amsterdamian needs to stay number one. Consider this election canceled until the rest of you learn to accept that fact. And another thing I was gonna say...
Well, that was quite the note. I'm being told to cut playback since it turns out this was intended to be off the record. But now the RoboCat's out of the bag, let's hope they let us play the whole note. To be continued. If you print long notes on vintage paper, not Celex tape, and find yourself poring over them and sniffing deeply, it's time to ask, am I a toner addict? Shooting ink, searching for dark veins with pitch black sticky fingers? Burning through ink so fast I can't print my district papers. Many of us shun ink-fingered wastrels who have marred and marked the details of their lives and blemished those around them. But what should we do with a King Midas of Blech? Banish him from our family? Punish him for opening a can of worms and spilling black gold worth $96,000 a gallon upon the motherboards of our streets? The answer is clear. He must be rehabilitated, for society cannot afford his future sins. At Kelso White Labs, we apply whiteout to the mind. Help render your ink-addled brethren to a cleanly sheen. Visit our intake tube today, wherever toner is sold. In Burrow News, a bulletin from the Wikibush section of Brooklinks. It's time for the Hackercraft Fair. Techno artisans have been revving up their creative engines to outdo each other this year, but we must caution participants to watch the shadows and dark puddled waters about you. Cropsy has returned. His diamond scale claw hand and cyber saw eye glint and buzz in the dying light of dusk. We would hate for more residents to crumple under the fury of his vicious onslaught. So in light of the noise and hubbub around this year's fair, security has been ratcheted up. Grey Guard defenders will post at every entrance and exit. Willowborg Institute has cast a diginet in attempt to close off Cropsy's transit options. But as we know, they've tried that before to no avail. Cyber-leash your children and scan the perimeter in all public zones. And remember, never enter the fair by Labyrinth Park, unless your switch gun is loaded and your helmet hat's on tight. Sick of closing your eyes and seeing the retinal burn of Cropsy? Or the boring outline of your holophone chip grafted to the inside of your eyelids? Just imagine that poor, glitch-headed schmagegi who saved a year's worth of crypto creds to have her holophone hardwired into her cornea. And thank your naked eyeballs that wasn't you. Or was that you? Oh dear. May the distortion field go gentle on your soul. For everyone else, there's Cell-X. Cell-X evolved from these countless wake-up calls. Literally, a vibrating hyperphone grafted to his wrist led the inventor of Cell-X, Cromwork Bugglesbaum, to devise a solution. Cromwork turned the tech tables on our modern holophone addiction. He put an end to such collywobble-inducing inconveniences as battery leaks in your brain matrix, wire surgery putting your limb out of service, and that drill boring into perfectly good skull bone. What? So they can install brand new comlink hardware that's outdated in 8 months? No thanks, Grim Reaper of obsolescence. Not so with Cell-X. Developed to mimic ancient scrolls known as fortune cookie fortunes, Cell-X tape is simulated paper you can carry in your pocket. Swipe, nudge, or squeeze it to advance the text. Lose it? Don't cyber sweat it. Just go to your local hub and crank some tape. Or invest in a Cell-X teletype printer for your home. For those burnt out on instant messaging via BrainJack, the only way to go is back to a time of fortunes told and tactile truth touched. Live in the real. Cell-X, a subsidiary of Setoyo Sear Worldwide. May cause memory fade if not disposed of properly. Well, folks, this whole time our secret guest has been Azure, our teacup poodle. She has loyally sat by my side without a peep. Send her some love. Sadly, she's here since Fenwick, our dog walker, got torched in Morning Circuit Heights. The Autarxian assailants accused Fenwick of being illegally transhuman. These attacks are mounting and oppressive to anyone with more than one cybernetic limb or a digitally reversed gender identity. Well, guess what? It's time to crack down on the Autarxian crackdowns. We can't allow such treachery in an open city. These terrorists complain. They say Amsterdenizen minorities drain money from the state for unnecessary procedures. Yet, 63% of their victims have privately financed bioenhancements, which reveals the culprit's true intent: crush minorities into submission. Autarxians specialize in perverting facts into falsehoods. They'll embrace whatever cockamamie scheme or crackpot idea justifies their desire to clean up the streets. The fact is, we live in a post-human world, and with the spread of Kraken Plague, a lot more dendrics will be jonesing for new limbs, nerve enhancements, and brain decks. Shall we deny them that post-humanity? Encourage them to wager their mana at Hellgate Portal instead? Certainly, the inequitable distribution of cyber enhancements casts a pall on our fair city. Ascension must be investigated. But Mayor Boccaccio refuses. Why? Do you believe him when he complains it would be class warfare? Please, teletext us any tips. Blow the cyber whistle on top secret files. Hack into Ascension's database. Tell us where illegal enhancements are being done. Why hasn't Ascension curbed them? And why would City Council permit these subhumane attacks to go unanswered? Name names. Next up, Wombly, the CTO of Libertronics, defends super circuit implants for infants. Professor Baldwin Mackelsback, here in honor of Black History Day, argues the counterpoint. Baby bionics may be all fine and dandy, but what if your super baby crushes a normie? And who's liable if she does? Stay tuned. Meanwhile, squeeze your loved ones close like loaves of digibread, and may the cyber spider's web cradle your digi-head. Thank you for imbibing our beloved show, Hellgate City Companion. This is your faithful host, Kirby Bevins, saying subscribe, rate, follow, swallow, and share this with a friend in need. Only you can sustain us in the fight to defend Amster denizens from evil code. Go to hellgatecity.com and hit the support button. Then smash the message button and voice message me a story about anything messed up you've seen in a city. Bevins out.